Joining us now, Pat Ryder, Nassau County Police Commissioner, and Randy Sutton, retired police lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the founder of the Wounded Blue. Okay, Commissioner, this video is brutal. There's been a conversation about why release it tonight on a Friday night. There has been a buildup. We've been warned about how bad it was, and those of us who have watched it now know. Unfortunately, the description was very accurate. It seems so far tonight that people are peacefully protesting. But what do you make of the timing of this release and how it's playing out?
Well, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that the world doesn't get to see. Chief Davis and her team down in Memphis did a great job. They briefed us 3 times this week. All the law enforcement agencies around the country, major city chiefs, got a briefing from the chief and her team, giving us the heads up so we can prepare, as she was also preparing for possible unrest in our community. So the timing of it, it's a difficult choice. Nobody can pick the right time. There's never a right time to give bad news to anybody. But Chief Davis and the team did a good job getting it out tonight. And as you can see so far, everybody is staying calm. The messages got out in front, and we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes.
Mm-hmm. Randy, you and I have had this conversation, unfortunately, because there have been other cases like this, and we fear there will be cases like this in the future. But we've talked about, my late father was a law enforcement officer. There's nobody who hates a bad cop worse than a good cop, because this now colors the ability for everybody to get out there safely and do their jobs. When you've got a community, when you've got people who have been hurt, who are wary of you and don't want to cooperate with police, how much bad has this case done for the good men and women in uniform?
You've hit a very important point. And, what we have seen here is another watershed moment, I'm afraid, in law enforcement. Rodney King was a watershed moment, George Floyd, and now we have this debacle in Memphis. As a police trainer, I spent many, many years as a trainer. Watching what unfolded here in Memphis was actually shocking to me. I saw horrible policing. I saw bad techniques. I saw out-of-control officers, no supervision, no leadership, and this is a recipe for what just took place. It was a feeding frenzy, and it was policing at its worst. Now I can tell you this: that from my sources in Memphis, the rank and file realize that these individuals went way overboard, and they support the actions of the chief, and that doesn't always happen. So I'm proud of the Memphis officers recognizing this misconduct. But there's a lot of other issues here, Shannon, that we could go into. Reference their training, reference hiring, reference, there's an investigation needs to take place into the hiring practices that were taking place when none of these cops have more than 2 or 3 years on. So, if they're all hired about the same time, and it's a symptom. So it really needs to be addressed, and that's something down the road that the Memphis police leadership needs to take a look at.
Yeah, and there are a number of investigations, state and federal, that will dig into these issues and clearly make suggestions about what should come next. I want to play what Benjamin Crump, the attorney for the Nichols family, said about race and police culture. Here's his take.
Racism and bias. It is the institutionalized police culture. It's not just the police culture. It's the justice system. You don't see officers doing this to white citizens because our court system has said that they value white life more than any other life.
Now, against that backdrop, I thought it was interesting that the police chief there in Memphis, C.J. Davis, said she thinks this actually is not an issue of race. What she said is it's about human dignity, integrity, and accountability, and the duty to protect our community. Commissioner, what do you make of that part of the conversation?
They want to make it about race, but the truth of the matter is our job is to protect and serve all the people, no matter your race, religion, your gender. We're out there to serve the public. These 5 officers, they threw that out the window today. They decided that they were going to go above and be better than the law. And what they did in the attack on Mr. Tyre there is way above the training. muscle memory, practice how you play. Everything went out the window. They let their emotions take over, and then they tarnished the shield. They ruined the reputation of all the good men and women out there in law enforcement that work hard every single day and go out there and take the risk. It's hard enough to retain. It's hard enough to recruit. And now it makes it even more difficult. That's why we need the support of our local politicians like we do here in Nassau County.
Yeah, for the good folks that are out there in uniform trying to serve the community. Commissioner Randy, we thank you both very much.